Somebody help that poor submissive.
Look, up there in the sky.
It's a bird.
It's a plane?
Is that a flogger? Someone's gotta be having a good time.
As the kink signal shines brightly in the night sky, we know that there is fuckery afoot.
What kind of fucking town is this?
No worries, as they've listened to the Gotham Press beforehand, so all will be safe, sane, and consensual.
Well, that's reassuring.
Right?
Yeah, but what's the Gotham Press?
What is the Gotham Press, you ask?
It's about time you tell us, don't you think?
Well, I'll let the Cape Crusaders themselves educate you on that. You are now listening to the world-famous Gotham Press podcast.
Hey, Greedy. A shit ton of people here. As you take a drink.
We have a live studio audience today.
Hi, live studio audience. All right, that's enough out of you.
The best podcast audience on this side of Bakersfield.
I agree.
I would agree with that. To answer your question, I don't know what name I should call you. To answer your question, I would say the other side of Bakersfield, that goes to the Sofa King podcast. They have a pretty fucking awesome podcast. And splitting Bakersfield, we're about on level with them. So we're going to claim this side, they can claim that side, and that's the east side.
And Hector, I just thought it was funny.
The east side, so...
I just thought it was funny.
This just proves that we take people from their side.
See, the problem is we're claiming east, west. No, we claim the kink side.
Yes, we claim the kink side of Bakersfield.
Kink side?
Kink side?
It's not that we've overthought the joke. No, that's not it.
No, we just overplayed it.
It happens.
Welcome back, ShockDoc.
Thank you, Greedy Paul. How are you today?
Quite well, sir. How are you?
I'm spectacular. I had an amazing teaching experience this afternoon, and it always leaves me recharged and energized.
Oh, wonderful. What did you wind up teaching?
I was teaching my Flogging 101 class. I had very good turnout, wonderful feedback, and I felt like people got a good lesson for their time invested and picked up some very practical tips along the way.
Fantastic.
Glad to have you back. So you finally decided to say, they keep calling me out. I might as well get on there.
Well, actually, I enjoy doing the podcast quite a bit, so I'm happy to be here.
We do enjoy having you on.
Thank you.
All right, so we have Shock, and also
we have a couple more guests.
We have the paddle partners.
Go paddle partners!
How we doing, everybody?
Go team paddle!
No, not the paddle partners. They're actually J&W Paddles, a local paddle maker.
Oh, we have a local paddle maker.
Local paddle makers. There are two of them.
Who knew? J&W. That would kind of imply two.
Two for the buck.
Would kind of imply two.
So, Greedy Paul, I got a question, bud.
See.
Let's get this formal thing out of the way.
What you got?
Who are you?
Mr-Morsus. I'm sorry.
Mr-Morsus.
Greedy, where can I find you if I was looking for you guys in the internet?
You could find us in our show notes.
In the show notes.
All of our social media, including our website, is found in the show notes. If you were looking on, say, Fetlife, you'd go to the Gotham Press. If you were on Facebook, it would be Gotham Press Podcast. Gmail would be gothampresspodcast@gmail.com. Hell.
All of your popular podcatchers.
Yes, all your major podcatchers. I personally prefer Podcast Addict. Awesome has his,
We got enough at this point.
Yeah, we got enough.
Listeners, thanks for listening to us. Share us with your friends.
Oh, actually, there is a new one that needs to be added, and this is going to be the first of it that Awesome has heard about, and anybody else for that matter.
This is exactly what you come here for. New stuff.
Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. Breaking news at the podcast.
Gotham Press from the Gotham Press.
The Gotham Press podcast has a call-in line now. So,
Say what?
Yeah, Gotham Press has a phone number.
So 2 weeks from now, when you're listening to this podcast, call in.
You can call or text. The phone number is area code 805-303-1173.
What's that number once again?
805-303-1173.
I can't hear you.
Look in the show notes. 805-303-1173.
That sounds amazing.
So, if you have a comment to get onto the podcast, call in, and we'll do what we can to put you on. You can also text it.
Just remember, JW paddles will already be gone.
This is true.
But they won't be out of stock.
No. Mr-Morsus, thank you very much for coming on. Who was the other fine gentleman we had talking just a moment ago?
That is HD_Rider46.
Welcome, HD Rider. We do appreciate having you on. You are one half of J&W Paddles, correct?
I am the top half.
So that means the other one, Mr-Morsus, is the bottom.
He's the other top.
Wait a second. We have some female voices. I hear laughter.
I do hear female laughter.
Those would be the bottoms.
The bottom halves.
And what fine bottoms they have.
Oh, I do believe it. I've seen at least one of them many times.
What are you saying?
I'm saying I've only ever seen one of them one time.
Dun, dun, dun.
So, bottom over here on HE Rider 46's side, can you introduce yourself for the listeners?
Yes, sir. I am sunny-daize.
Sunny-daize. Pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
Well, I've met you before. How about over here with Mr-Morsus?
Hi, it's Posh Girl 1013.
Very nice to have you on, Posh Girl.
Thanks.
We have a full house tonight.
We do. We have a very full house.
We have an audience. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guests.
And we have crappy mics that we have put on ourselves so that our guests can sound stellar, and we essentially sound like we used to.
It's okay. They still love us.
I hope so.
At least they love our guest.
Either that or we've put them in a tin can so there are less problems.
Wow. And it went dark.
I never thought of that. That is kind of dark. Okay. Nice shot.
You're welcome.
Okay, so we're gonna start this off with a very big thing. But I'm gonna ask the studio audience: Has everyone here seen ENDGAME?
Yes.
No, Captain, we haven't.
For those that have not seen ENDGAME and don't want any spoilers, please exit the room now.
I am totally gonna lose some nerd cred right here.
Bye.
You haven't seen it yet?
I have not seen it yet.
Really?
I know we're like 2 weeks in. I have not seen it yet. I know. But I started a new job and...
Well, technically 1 week.
We're 1 week in now?
We're 1 week in.
Oh, well.
It premiered last weekend.
Yep.
Yeah. In that week, I worked 68 hours. So it's been a very, very busy week. Thank you, ShockDoc. I appreciate your vote of confidence.
So, Shock, how many hours would make him not busy?
Greedy, isn't there 168 hours in a week?
Dun, dun, dun.
That's Greedy thinks about
That gave you 108 hours to go.
Yep. I did, and I still didn't.
Which is ironically the length of the movie.
Yes, the longest.
What a coincidence.
All right, so spoiler tone right now.
Yep, spoiler.
And let's get into the nitty-gritty of ENDGAME. So, what did you like about it?
It was a payoff for so many things.
Yeah?
So many things were just kind of left up in the air. So many loose threads from all the other movies, just all wrapped up in a nice little ribbon. In my opinion. Yeah. Shock opinion.
It was actually a really good movie. I very much enjoyed it. It is 3 solid hours, and it didn't feel like 3 solid hours to me. So that's saying something.
It did when you had to go to the bathroom, though.
That's why you pee before you go into that movie.
Buying a gallon-sized tub of soda. In any event, I enjoyed it, and there were some things I wasn't expecting, so there were some plot points that I hadn't heard of. I didn't go out and research it. I just wanted to see and enjoy the movie, and there were some plot twists I really wasn't expecting.
But they were all well done, in my opinion.
I pretty much, yeah. It's a very enjoyable film.
I love the fact that they had a heist in the movie. Because I just love heist movies in general. And they hey, we got enough time. Let's just add in, as they call it, a time heist. Something that I was actually reading earlier today. Tony's daughter. Yes, Tony Stark has a daughter in the movie. How he said he loves her 3,000. It was debunked by the Russo brothers, but somebody actually went and checked it. If you add up all the time of all 23 of the Marvel movies, they add up to 3,000.
3,000 hours?
3,000 minutes.
Minutes, okay.
Minutes.
Yeah.
I saw that too. Is that legit? Or?
Yeah, that's the legitimate.
Please, no
time
one
it
starts
takes.
singing the theme from Rent.
But she said it first, though.
She said it. Actually, what happened was it was something that one of the actors, their child relatives would say to them, and so they kind of moved that into the movie, and then somebody decided, you know what, I'm going to fact check this and see what this 3,000 actually means. So basically, people have far too much free time.
Yeah, that's true. No, very enjoyable film. Very intense. So many things going on. You don't want to look away.
Right.
And a lot of storylines wrapped up, as you mentioned. So
I like the fact that they didn't go back and try to fix the original problem. They just said, all right, we went through these horrible times. We're just going to live it out from this point forward.
Yeah.
I loved when Falcon showed up. On your left, Cap.
On your left.
Yeah.
On your left.
It's one of those things like, hey, you know, you don't think about these things until it's like, oh, yeah, that's right. He did. That was their first meeting. Yeah. On your left.
Civil War. Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier, yeah.
Winter Soldier.
When Falcon first came onto the scene. Oh, man. Favreau had a great part. Did you know during the funeral, the one boy that was standing there by himself, do you know who that character was?
I actually didn't, and I was kind of curious about that.
So, do you remember Iron Man 3?
Yes.
Remember the boy that he was...
Oh, yeah, the little kid in the garage.
That was him.
Oh, yeah, that would have been, 15 years later, yeah.
Yeah, so it's one of those, oh, they really did bring back everybody that they could. Oh, man. When that movie comes out, you know there's going to be a super, hey, everybody, you want all your Marvel movies? Here's our 23 DVD pack, or Blu-ray pack.
Well, and I actually kind of like the Iron Pepper Potts.
Oh, Rescue, yeah.
Yeah. No, but I like when she shows up in the her own suit.
Yes.
With the little detail, I went, oh, yeah, that's right. And I like that.
Yeah. Because Rescue, and they just had so many. I was kind of...
Folks, get the big tub of popcorn so you don't have to keep getting up.
Oh,
There's a lot of stuff to absorb.
I don't know how... I'm still kind of on the fence for Professor Hulk.
He didn't seem to be as large and powerful in this form.
And officially he's not.
Yeah.
And then after the fact, of course, I went and read a bit more about him. Apparently in that form, if he gets angry, he turns back into Bruce Banner, just very, very angry. Like with the Hulk mind, but in Bruce Banner's body.
That's hilarious.
It's like, that wouldn't work out too well. And then when they went back in time to meet to do everything, I loved how they played everybody thinking, oh, there's going to be another elevator fight scene, but Hail Hydra.
Yeah, that was a really nice setup because that's one of the best scenes from Winter Soldier is that elevator scene.
Yes.
And then he
he
basically turned the tables on him. Yeah.
Oh man. So where do you think it's going to go next? Because there was no after credit scene on this one.
Well, we have the Spider-Man Far Away coming up.
Spider-Man Far Away. Was it Far From Home?
Far From Home. Yeah. If they want to do another Captain America, well, they have the Falcon to take over for that.
Because Falcon's taking over for that.
They still have. I counted them. There's 1,375 characters on the goddamn screen at one point. They got a couple of spare storylines in their back pocket to keep the money machine rolling in.
Have you heard about the Howard the Duck show that's supposed to be coming to Hulu?
Actually, I think I may have forgot about it, but hopefully it'll be entertaining.
As long as it's not like the 80s Howard the Duck movie.
Yeah.
I was watching on YouTube Honest Trailers. They're like, we want to do an honest trailer about the original Marvel movie. And they went back to Iron Man. Nope, not that one. And they went back to Blade. Nope, still farther back. They went back to the, I want to say 90s Captain America. Like 91 Captain America movie. Like, no, still farther back. And then they got to Howard the Duck in the 80s. It's like, oh yeah, all those are Marvel properties that you just don't think about.
Wow.
What are you wowing, Greedy?
I'm just the connection of Howard the Duck to Marvel.
Well, Howard the Duck is a Marvel character.
Well, and
I know, but
he does show up in the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, I caught the little cameo in the bar. That was funny.
Oh, speaking of the cameo, what did you think of Stan's cameo?
Cute, of course, as always, you know, and kind of sad that he's gone.
Was that the last one he recorded?
If he's actually there, I wouldn't surprise me if he was CG.
No, because I know he pre-recorded a lot of them.
Okay.
So I believe either that or Far From Home is going to be his last pre-recorded.
Okay.
Well,
cameo.
somebody said that the next one he was in would be the last one he was in.
Oh,
so
okay.
it's possible that Endgame is the end for.
So let me jump franchises for a moment.
Okay.
So while we're there, for my grown son and I were there to watch Endgame, and they're doing the trailers, and they show the next Star Wars trailer.
Yes.
And I find it ironic that the two living actors they've killed off, and the one that had at that point passed away was the one that's still in the fucking movie franchise. Princess Leia is gone. Well,
Yeah.
and then we unfortunately lost our favorite Wookiee this week as well.
Right.
But Princess Leia was gone. She's the one they still filming, and two of the other actors
Right.
that are actually alive, they've killed them all.
Well, I'm sure we'll get Luke's ghost. His Force spirit.
Didn't Harrison Ford say he wanted out of it anyway? I heard that somewhere.
What was that, audience member?
Didn't Harrison Ford say he wanted out? I heard that somewhere.
I hope not.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, Harrison Ford he's
I
got
heard he
other.
was just done with it.
I was like, he's got other franchises, and he talks like that all the time, and it's kind of hard to understand. When it's still going on anyway. Mumble. That's all he does. He mumbles.
Mumble acting is.
It's made a successful career out of it then.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He made a great career of it. But I don't need more mumbles in my life.
And who can forget this role? A museum.
You got issues, man.
Which
Yeah.
reminds me, don't forget to punch a Nazi.
Still a better actor than Nick Cage.
You and this hatred of Nick Cage.
Till I die. I suppose if he walked in the front door and agreed to be on the podcast and to contribute, I don't know, $3 or $4 million to the podcast, then I'd be less of a hater. I'd still be a hater, but not as much.
You and I can interview him. It'll be fun.
We'll interview. Okay.
You just get it annulled anyways.
Have we covered our in-game stuff for the moment?
I think so.
Okay.
Yay.
Did you say yay? You know what? Anyway. So, Greedy,
Yes.
what's the word of the episode?
The word of the episode is paddle. Yeah, like those.
Like those?
There's some high quality props, people.
Those aren't props. Those are paddles.
No, I'm
Hey.
aware.
Nothing but the best from J&W Paddles. HD Ryder brought in one and allowed me to stroke his wood. And it is... oh my
so-
god. You said it's black ebony?
Black ebony.
Oh my god. I cannot describe it. I mean, it's...
You can't keep your hands off the smooth, thick black one, can you?
the supple black one.
Supple.
Yes. It's just a stunning piece. I mean,
It is beautiful.
to look at it, yeah, that's it. He's striking against his hand right now. To look at it in a picture, it's probably not going to do it justice.
Oh, no.
Holding the thing is just an experience in itself. It's
You know, you can go on Etsy or eBay or a number of other places, and you can buy things offline.
oh yeah.
And, you know, you can get decent utilitarian toys for, fairly low cost, mostly. But they don't compare to the works of art I see sitting around this recording studio at the moment. Because these people literally make works of art.
Yeah.
And you can hold them in your hand.
They
and
love them.
And
May I
they
hold
care.
one of
They
those,
give a damn.
please?
And you can warm an ass and make someone very happy with them. And probably be the nicest toy you'll ever have in your toy bag.
I would wholeheartedly agree with that. I'm holding the one that I was talking about, the ebony one. It's just super rich, dark ebony. It's a beautiful piece of wood. The handle is nice, seamless to this thing.
Beautiful.
They just make works of art. And in a wide variety of materials and finishes and decorations.
Hey, J&W, will we be able to take a couple of pictures of this particular piece to put up on our...
Yes, you could.
All right.
Ooh, we could put it on Discord, too.
We can. I was thinking...
Not tonight, of course.
Not tonight. I was thinking of Fetlife.
Oh, yeah, we'll put it on Fed. We will link you guys to our page as well.
Wonderful, awesome. Well, let's talk a little bit how we basically were introduced to these the paddles and the community and in Bakersfield. I started almost 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, coming into the community, and I really like making things with my hands. And then I met. We'll have to explain that. HC writer. Sorry.
I'm just saying you met.
And then we had a common interest, which was working with our hands, making wood, and then not making each other's wood, of course.
I was gonna say, were you stroking the wood?
We were probably doing other things with the wood. Just use your imagination with sharp tools, by the way.
Do you really want our listeners to use their imagination?
Of course, it's Kink Town.
Kinky all the way. And so when we got together and started talking, we went to several of the stores down in LA that you could buy toys and kink stuff and that kind of materials. And we seen that there wasn't any really quality wood paddles.
All right, so you say they weren't quality wood. Are these just like the cheap knockoffs? Or?
Think about like I'm not gonna. I don't want to talk crap about them or whatnot, but think like of just like a paint stick. Even though they're fun, don't get me wrong, but like just a really thin paint stick stir. For a just overpriced amount of money. There no grain to it, no personality to that product.
So you're saying your pieces have personality?
Yes. So what we do is we shop local vendors for our stock wood, and then we actually look at each piece individually. So we will go through racks and racks of wood, and we will find the wood that speaks to us. It has a knot. It's got certain cracks or imperfections, what I call, and we take those imperfections and actually try to. We don't try. We actually do it. We put them in the center of the paddle, right? Most people would throw that out, but we actually, when we finish working the paddle, it just blends in seamlessly, and it makes each paddle unique.
But you guys do it in a way that it highlights it and makes it a piece of art in itself. I mean, the grain of the wood, it's not an imperfection. It is, hey, look at this. This is character.
Yeah, for sure, Greedy. But most people would get rid of that imperfection. What they call imperfection, it's the difference between the white wood and the grain, right where those two things meet. And that's basically the beauty in it. If you really want the end product, it's what counts.
You all may have said this before, but how long have you been doing this?
We're now been doing the paddles for a little over 3 years.
It's been that long.
It's been that long.
Oh man.
And
so where do you sell your wares at usually?
Well, we do sell them online. We have a website, jwpaddles.com.
Wait, what was that website again?
That is jwpaddles.com.
Sonny, what? He's not loud enough on this thing.
I think I heard him say jwpaddles.com.
I'm just getting all kinds of free shameless plugs here.
Well, it certainly won't be the last time that J&W gets mentioned on our podcast, because you guys do make phenomenal products. I mean, it's
why at the Munches that I never hesitate to mention them if someone's looking for a really good quality toy. To check out J&W paddles, because I have no qualms whatsoever recommending them, and I just know that the work they do is superb.
Do you sell in any stores or just on your website at this point?
We sell on our website, and recently one of the larger kink locations in LA. I don't know if I'm able to plug them, but I don't know. We haven't had any. Have we?
Stockroom.
Officially, you did. He did. She did.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, that's stockroom.com.
That's the stock
is-
room down in L.A.
Yes.
Wait, is that their website?
Stockroom.com.
Stockroom.com, I believe.
Or you can go in and have a look.
Yep.
Ooh, yeah.
Go in, touch it, feel it.
And then where is the furthest we ship?
We went to Finland?
Netherlands.
Netherlands.
Oh,
Yes.
wow. You're worldwide.
Nether regions, Netherlands.
Netherlands.
Nice.
There's a
So-
kinky person in the Netherlands.
So the Finns have a kink scene, yes?
That apparently they do because they ordered it, we shipped it.
That or somebody is stirring a pot of soup.
Here's my big
Fish
question.
heads, fish heads.
How many orders have you gotten from Antarctica?
None yet.
But I mean, so many kinksters live there.
I know, for real, huh?
It's the on-running Fetlife joke is that everyone lives in Antarctica.
Antarctica, the kinkiest place on Earth.
Well, we haven't shipped any there, but we're not saying that someone from there hasn't got one.
Ah, gotcha.
One other thing. What happens when we design a new paddle?
Well, we started these and we came up with a few designs in the beginning, and we found that we thought it would be extremely fun and interesting that when we make a new design on a paddle, whoever that paddle gets spanked on first, we then name the paddle after them.
Oh, nice.
So each paddle we have, the style and the shape, it has a name. Therefore, now it is named after that person who was spanked
So
with
who
first.
was that first paddle that we sold and that got spanked with? The brand name of that is called
This
this one right here. This one was our first one.
it was a choline. So we have a beginner warm-up paddle called the choline. It's usually 17 or 18 inches long, about 2 3/4 to 2 inches wide, and it's
Stingy.
got a
Yes.
nice little warm-up sting to it.
Yeah.
We did.
Hold on, sunny-daize. You said yes, like you are experienced with this thing.
I said yes. Like, I prefer the thuddy over the stingy of the paddle, and the choline is definitely stingy.
So could we do a live demonstration of can
I
we-
was actually just going to
Yeah.
ask
Are
if
you
he would
volunteering?
mind.
Sure, why not?
You're volunteering.
I do believe he is volunteering.
I'll take one for the team.
Well, whoever's going to...
While we set up here, you guys, why don't we go into the next one?
Yeah, Mr.
Well,
HD.
After that, we went into using the Christine. So we actually had sponsored one of our community parties, and we put in part of our contest, which was a Christmas party, and we said the most sexy Santa's helper would win this paddle, and it was probably one of the first different shaped handles that when we implicated having a much broader, wider, more comfortable fitting handle.
I was going to say, you say one of the different handles. How many different handle types do you do?
Well, we kind of have 3 different type handles. We have one that is just the thickness of the thinner blades. Then we went into a smaller, thicker paddle, and it is also a one piece. But then we have the majority of our thicker, more expensive paddles. We have the handles that are a good fit to the hand.
They're like
tapered.
3 layers, aren't they? When you start the work, it's like 3 separate layers. Yes.
Yes, it's a 3-piece handle.
Yes.
But our blade goes all the way through the handle.
Yeah.
So
Oh, nice.
every handle, when you look at them in the way that they're made and they're tapered, people, when we're at events and showing them, they think, well, is this where it's going to break? Well, no, our paddles aren't going to break.
Real quick, you said that the more expensive. What's the range as far as pricing for your paddles?
Wow, we have some that are like $30 a starter paddle, and for the most expensive wood like the dark ebony there that HD Writer has, it just market value because we take a risk on that type of wood, and then if it's cracked because it's sealed in beeswax and you can't really see it until they sell it to you, you can end up with a $300 paddle.
Oh, wow.
This paddle, the other paddles that we've sold on our upper end was called Vera wood. comes from, I think, Africa.
Argentina.
My bad. Comes from Argentina, and they were selling for in the area of $160 for the paddle.
Oh, wow.
I had looked at ebony wood because we got to where we basically are buying more just exotic woods. And I priced a piece of black ebony at $250 for the board. I thought, jeez, I'm not going to spend that kind of money on a board. And as we got more and more into the paddles and making more and more paddles and going to events and selling them and things, I heard the price of the black ebony, and I said, I better buy a piece of this wood now while I can afford it.
Yeah.
So the board that I purchased for this one paddle was $385 for the board. Now,
wow.
As
Not to
Mr.
include
Morris,
labor.
yeah.
Not
As
to include
Mr.
time.
We cleaned it. We ran it through our planers and stuff. We cleaned it up. We split it, and we've got one paddle. We are gonna be lucky if we can get 2 paddles out of it.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So this paddle, this paddle basically cost me $385.
Yeah.
If I get a second one, then I'm going to get lucky because we're having to repair the wood because there were splits and stuff. We've got the blade's done. I think it's going to be okay, but now we got to see if we can repair the wood enough to make the handles to where we may be able to get a second paddle. Okay. So, but this wood's constantly going up in price. So if someone, we just had an event, we were at a tasting in Fresno, and somebody said, well, how much would it cost me to have one of those paddles? And I had to tell him, this is a $350 plus paddle. And he said, well, what is the plus? I said, I'm going to start the pricing at $350. Once I get to where the wood is and I look at the price of the wood, I may have to call and tell you it's a $500 paddle because now that board may cost me $600.
Mm-hmm.
And so, not to be price gouging,
Yeah.
I can't go in the hole to make a paddle.
Yeah.
Right, that's understandable.
So, but on average, our paddles are $120 to $130 for the bigger, nicer, thicker blades.
And none are stained.
Yeah, that's important to note.
Yeah, our paddles are not stained. They are just the natural beauty of the wood itself. We use a clear varnish, and at least how many coats do we put on there?
Well, all of our paddles get a minimum of 4 coats. If we don't like the smoothness and the clarity of it, we'll wet sand and we'll put 5, 6, 7 coats. When we feel like they're clean and they're smooth and they have the beauty that we want, they're done.
So I'm just doing a little math here in my head. You guys are selling these gorgeous paddles at these reasonable prices, and apparently you're making about $1.25 an hour for each of them.
We always figure
So, folks, just take that into
Yeah.
consideration when you're purchasing these, and maybe slip these guys a 20 on the side because, good God, they're not making any money on these things.
But you know what we do craft these things. It's for fun. I mean, just the
Labor of love?
Yeah, I mean, just the time spent.
This
behind
is
the
not paying the
machines
mortgage.
but
No,
it's,
it's not.
it's fun to create something, and then it's also even funner when you is that a word, funner? When you're in the dungeon and you see people crack open that bag and they bring out this toy and they just start glowing, and then the sound these things make as they're delivering the playful sounds. Yeah, something like that. Sonny.
Is that the sounds you make when you're
Job
hit with one of these?
satisfaction.
Sometimes.
Mr. Morsus, tell me about the one that's in front of you on the table right now, because this thing is a goddamn work of art.
So this was silkwood? No, silkwood.
Lacewood.
Lacewood, yeah, lacewood. This is a piece of wood we found in Santa Barbara. We were actually doing some charity work up there, and Posh Girl bought a board of this. And at first I was like, man, what the heck? What kind of board was this? But when we actually cut it and sanded it and worked with it, it's beautiful. This is my personal paddle, and basically it's in my bag and it goes everywhere I go.
It's practically tire striped. It just has one of the most unique appearances I've ever seen, and it is a gorgeous sort of like cherry base with these light colored stripes underneath all those clear coats.
Yeah,
and
I've seen this.
It really is gorgeous.
Yeah, I've seen this a lot on the backs of guitars.
Okay, yeah.
So you can picture that.
Picture a really beautifully finished guitar that you would drool over, and women would get all wet in their panties for, and you're holding that thing in your hand in the middle of a play party, placing it against a nice round ass, and everybody's having a good time.
Yeah. So let's see what else. We also have the difference of the woods that I like to bring up is the different actual sensations these paddles can give you. The density of the wood. Let me look at the poplar right there.
Actually, Mr. Morsus,
Yes,
got
sir.
a question.
Uh-huh.
So I see the paddles that you brought. I believe you do engravings on the paddles as well. Is that
Yeah, we recently got a engraver, so we're actually able to put any image you find. Of course, we're gonna stay away from the copyright and all that good stuff.
Right.
But if you find an image that you like, or you design your own image, we can actually put that image on the surface of the paddle, any size, anywhere you want it, any depth you want it. Of course, we're not gonna. Ooh, any depth you want it, right? Any depth.
Balls deep.
Let's go deep.
Let's go deep. And then it'll imprint. So if you want the reverse of whatever word you want and how deep you want it, so that welt on the butt or the buttocks
looks like that.
Exactly.
All right. I have to invest in one of these.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, anyway, the density of the woods. You have some that are really light, like myself. I like lighter woods. I can't seem to strike as many times with a heavier wood, and some people enjoy the really.
Some people like.
HD Rider. I'm sorry. They enjoy playing with the heavy ones, like that black piece of art he's got there.
I believe that's on my fetish list on Fetlife, is playing with the heavy ones.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I thought you were going to say playing with the heavy wood.
And that's like one very strong advantage we have to making these paddles. I have several paddles that are my own personal paddles that after we've made them, okay, this is not for sale.
This is mine.
It goes into my bag. So I don't just make the paddles, I use the paddles. I love the paddles. My sub loves my paddles, whether she likes it or not. But she can answer that for herself.
Do you love the paddles?
I do.
All of them?
No. I love some of them, and I've learned to like all of them.
Ah. Okay. Good save. Good save.
Yes.
So, I believe somebody was going to do a demo of at least one of your paddles.
Yeah, Posh Girl's butt, right?
Sure.
I could have sworn you said it was yours, Mr. Morris.
Well, technically,
Well, it is his
Posh
ass,
Girl's-
so-
Yeah.
There you go.
Well done. Well done.
So let me set this up real quick. So just right across, babe. Like sit like
Over
there
the
you
knee.
go, over the knee style.
Oh, this is
Adjust this mic here real quick.
this is getting hot and heavy.
All right, so I'm gonna turn this.
Are you going for
Shock,
the
can you
lace
give me a
split?
hand here with this mic, like face it towards her butt and just off a little bit.
It'll pick up exactly like
Oh,
that. It'll
we're
pick
good?
it up. Yeah,
Okay.
you're
All
good.
right, so-
real quick, which one are you using?
Well, right now, let me start with that Colleen over there. If this one right here.
Colleen.
Yes.
I have a short pulling.
Well, yeah, the shorter might.
Might be a lot easier. Yeah, there you go.
So as always, we have to get our consent and play adults and all that, thing out of the way. So you check in with your partner. You say, "Are you ready, babe?" So we'll start warming her up.
She
here.
nodded her head.
We can't
yes.
She
hear
said
your nod.
yes.
I'm ready.
Yeah, all right. So I don't know if you can hear this.
Oh yeah,
Oh, they hear.
it
Yeah?
picks up.
That's the right side. Here's the left side. And this is
Oh, wow,
what kind of wood
stereo.
is this?
I believe that is Purple Heart, is it not?
Yeah, it's Purple Heart. But you can just hear that sound. Okay, now here's a good one. Ready? Here we go again. Let me give her a little break on that cheek and go to the other one. Man, babe, you command attention. You got all these guys looking at your butt, and they're just not saying anything.
Well, the bud is also a nice work of art, so
Right.
bravo.
And then you got a poplar here. This one's a little bit thicker. A little bit thicker, a lot thicker. And let's hear what this one sounds like.
And that will cover more of the cheek as you paddle with it, because it is, he just went from about 1 3/4 inches to about 4 inches wide.
Wow, I got to say, from a sound tech perspective, looking at the difference in sound, that's not going to make a hell of a lot of sense to some people, but what I'm seeing on the computer is
A difference.
way
And
different.
then let me give that the big one, the ebony here. This is like a lot of weight, and she does not like this, but maybe we'll force her to like it.
But I
So,
do.
from an HD, I gotta say, I love the handle on. What's that? You said poplar?
The popper one, yes.
This one here?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love the handle on that one.
Kind of looks like a butt plug.
Ooh.
Well, what was very interesting is you can also use the tip of the handle, because it comes to a point. And you can use that for a little bit of edge play. You can scratch and rub that along their back and get a little bit different sensation out of it also.
Okay.
So here's the black ebony.
Oh.
Well, she can never go back now.
And a little bit on the side of the cheek here. She really doesn't. I'm trying not to hit this mic here. So you guys can definitely hear the difference with a lot of density here.
Oh yeah.
That is a sweet sound.
There's 3 different types of paddles and different sounds they make. And you can also use the side of the paddle as kind of like a cane.
Yeah.
So you won't get much of a sound with that, but you'll get quite a bit of...
So I have a question for both of you. With every paddle that you make, do you test it on these two lovely ladies?
No, we not all of them, but
Were available.
several of these that I carry in my bag, they were first time paddles for that design and that shape and that kind of wood. And yes, I did try that on my sub, and I needed feedback also. Would have to say, the both of us, I believe I speak for both of us, the thank you that we have for the way that ShockDoc has always voiced our products in a very high stature, and we extremely appreciate. And not that we are paying him but we probably could not have paid for a better endorsement than Shock,
Well,
because he's
sincere.
always spoke.
It's sincere. You guys make beautiful woods and beautiful pieces of equipment, and I've never failed to be impressed by them.
And with that's one of the things that we have always been able to move forward, because with Shock being in the lifestyle for so long, that to see him go through and see so many products and then look at our product and rave on our products, it's definitely was a very easy step for us to keep moving forward.
And when people hear what Shock says, it carries weight.
It does. And what is very funny is you will see almost every one of our paddles have our initials JW in them.
Okay.
There are a couple that when we first started, we did not have an engraver
We didn't
yet.
have a logo.
We
We barely started.
That's important.
We knew
Yeah.
what we were going to call ourselves.
Exactly.
But we didn't have logos, so there are some actual first editions out there that are not engraved. And
those are the collector's editions,
Yes,
folks.
they
You're going to
are.
want to pay extra
They
for
are.
those.
So, Greedy,
Yeah.
Captain, can we do something here? Maybe let's give away one of these paddles, or raffle off a paddle, or
Sure, yeah,
definitely
that's
any,
definitely
any
doable.
ideas like
Wow.
that are I'm up for them.
Okay.
What did you have a specific one that you wanted to?
Well, we got a whole roll over here, and we will. Which one do you think?
I'm going to say not the ebony one.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'll take the ebony one.
Because I guarantee that ebony one will.
Contest is over, everybody. I don't believe it's getting out of the room.
Disclaimer.
Well, we have one here made out of wenge. Or we could go. The end one.
This.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty.
We have Paduke. No, it is not Paduke. It is wenge and Babinga.
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 Where's Babinga from?
Well, that's just fun to say. Babinga.
Is it from Africa?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. It's pretty.
Have you seen that kind of wood?
Heavy African wood.
Yes.
Wait.
I handle it.
Yes, there it is, ladies and gentlemen.
I wasn't gonna, say it, but thank you, Shock.
So humble, too.
I do what I can.
We see that one?
There you are.
Well, I'm going to say it's going to be one of these two. And since I am biased and I will sit here debating this all night long.
Well, what you have to look at there, Greedy, is your wenge, which is the dark, more of a black looking color. Mm-hmm. It is, and it has brown streaks through it if you look at it closely. Mm-hmm. That is a hair bit thinner of a blade.
Yes.
But the Babinga is about an inch, maybe a half inch longer.
Oh, inch and a half.
And that's only if length matters.
Oh, it matters. It matters.
Which one matters more?
But one's thicker,
audience?
so do you want length
or
or do you
girth?
want girth?
They want girth.
All right, so studio audience,
Hand me the girthier one real quick.
which one are we going to give away? This one?
That one.
Length wins!
That's the
Actually, length and girth. This one's both. So we're going to give away the one,
Wins for the day.
the Babinga J&W paddle.
We'll take a
This
picture
is
of it so everyone
yes.
can see.
So for all those people that failed to get those entries all those times before for this quarter's giveaway, sucks for you. Those of you
So
that
mean to our listeners.
Hey, we gave them ample opportunity. We told them every single episode you'll have a chance to get an entry. The ones that did not, well, you're fewer entries into this giveaway. But we are giving away a J&W paddle this quarter. And I must say I am jealous of whoever gets this. Because I cannot.
I'll say I'm envious of whoever gets it.
Oh, I don't want them to have it. I want it for myself.
Oh, Shock. Don't you own a J&W paddle?
Actually, I do not. But only because I already have a beautiful collection of handmade paddles that was given to me as a gift. They have a lot of sentimental value, and I just could not bring myself to add to the collection when I have these beautiful things
Already there.
That's
I
the only reason
understand.
why. If I were paddle shopping, it is the one stop I'd make.
Nice.
And I talked to a HC writer at one point about because he was getting some particular exotic wood, and I told him I was interested. So it's not that I won't ever have one; I just don't currently have one.
Okay. All right.
He will. He will have one.
So
Are you
listen,
challenging
ShockDoc
me, Walt?
is saying, go to their website, order yourself a JW paddle.
Yeah.
And you heard it here first. He will.
I will.
So yeah,
Okay. So at that point, I think they've paddled themselves enough for this.
I would wholeheartedly agree. Thank you very much for coming on and paddling. As ShockDoc rows his boat gently down the stream.
Oh,
Go
paddling
fix your
wares.
makeup.
Paddling their wares, yes.
Paddling their wares.
A real quick question. Black or white?
For those that listen to the podcast,
What color?
Okay, so one of them's holding up black, one of them's holding up white. Okay, so each couple here, we're going to have you fill out a card. a black, and a white.
For Cards Against Humanity.
Yes. Shock, do you want to fill one out too?
Sure, although I think I've already shot my wad with this particular trick.
I don't think he cares.
I don't either.
I'm talking about you.
No, I don't. So you all know how Cards Against Humanity works, right? The black card is the fill-in-the-blank card. The white card is the answer to the fill-in-the-blank. So if you selected white, give an answer. If you selected black, please give us a fill-in-the-blank. But we've got till the end of the episode to do this, okay?
Yes.
I can't tell you now.
Sure, if you'd like.
The rotting puppy corpse I found under the front steps.
Oh my God, that was dark.
So dark.
You're welcome.
That's going to play well for a few people that I know.
You're horrible. Okay. What was I saying? Where were we at?
Next paddled out? Yeah.
Well, wait, before we go to the next topic, can I say one more thing?
Yes.
Sure.
I just want to make sure that we let everybody know that all of our woods are strictly covered with clear high gloss varnishes.
Mm-hmm.
So the colors of all the woods are uniquely done strictly by the wood.
Okay.
So we want to make sure that everybody understands we use, when they come and look at our stuff and they
It's natural.
they make a comment on the colors and stuff, we use zero stains.
So it is the wood.
It is the wood is where the beauty comes from.
Stands on its own.
You're not getting pine stained as oak or something else. You're getting natural finished wood.
Good time.
And the sealing makes them moisture proof, which is highly important in this line of work.
It definitely is. You can use either alcohol on it to spray them and clean them off, or we use Windex to do all of our cleaning. It has alcohol and it just cleans up real clean. Also, not just paddles, but we started another product called the joysticks.
Oh yeah, I've heard of those.
Joysticks?
And what they are is they are
Enjoy.
actually a more of a club style looking insertable toy.
Oh, wow.
They work great as an impact tool. They leave nice. They're bulbed and rounded, and they leave a good little bruise along the thighs or along the buttocks, her ass. And when the time is right, a little bit of lube, and home she goes.
Excuse me, sweetheart. Hold this for me for a minute.
Do not drop it. So we just wanted people to understand, and we have one you guys could take a picture of and put it on your website also, so that they have an idea of what we're talking about.
I'd be quite happy to.
Thank you.
So is there anything else J&W would like to talk about their wares or their experiences?
I think we pretty much covered it all, Greedy.
Cool. Well, fantastic. Again,
If you're
thank
in
you.
the area, we have been typically going to the Bakersfield tasting, and we are presenters, and you can always come and look at them and feel them.
Bakersfield Tasting takes place the first Saturday in October every year.
First Saturday in October.
I plan on being there.
I don't
on
think
your
you have much
calendar now.
choice, Greedy.
I would choose to go even if I did. So yeah, what else do we have on the agenda today?
Last thing on the agenda for this particular episode is something that happened to a friend of mine, actually.
Oh yeah, what was that?
So the actual topic is asshats that threaten to out people. She met with a person. They talked. They kind of clicked. It was good. She sent him a few pictures. And then after a bit, his true colors showed through. And all of a sudden it's, hey, I don't think this guy's really cool. I shouldn't be continuing on with this. And so she backed off. And then he comes back, well, hey, if you don't do X, Y, Z, I'm going to take all these pictures and send them to your friends, your family. I'm just going to send them all out everywhere and make sure that they know what you are really all about.
Wow.
Have
What
you-
a dick.
What
Yeah.
a douchebag.
Asshat.
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 There you go.
Douche canoe?
Dou-
What other
There are many.
names fit here?
Hold on. Live studio audience, do you have any words for this?
Piece of shit.
Yeah, that's fitting.
Piece of shit.
Although I think that's a little more valuable than this asshole. Anybody else?
Cum rag.
Douche canoe? Cum rag? That's...
Hey, don't talk down about women like that.
Wow. We just lost half of our listeners.
You're welcome. No. I'm going to get all the hate mail from this one.
Okay, hate mail can be sent to attention Captain Awesome at Gotham Press Podcast at gmail.com.
That's correct.
Ding, ding, ding.
I think we need to make a hate mail for Awesome and a hate mail for Greedy chat room in our Discord. That would be...
I don't know if I want to do that because I'm going to get so much hate mail.
I would be very curious to see how much hate mail each of us gets.
Nobody hates you, Greedy.
I know.
You dick. Anyway.
So, Captain, what are the some suggestions or recommendations for recommendations
For dealing with those douche canoes?
like this, like an experience like this?
I have never personally been threatened to be outed. I've known several people that have. I've seen the way that they tried to handle the situation. One of them just outright said, "Go ahead, out me. I don't care." She was just like, "If you do, I'll deal with it as best I can." And that kind of made the guy back off. Mm-hmm. Luckily, I never encountered one that gave in to it. One, she just kind of blacklisted him for the most part. You know, just cut off all ties, blocked him on everything she could, and as far as I'm aware, nothing else came of it. Because a lot of these threats, at least from what I know, these are like empty threats. It's like, "Hey, do this thing now, or else," and then the or else just never happens. Because this is not a challenge to you douche canoes out there that having to find our podcast. We are not telling you to go out and do these things.
It is a good reason for keeping your kink life, your Fetlife separate from your Facebook page.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very good reason.
Yes.
And you know, in this day and age, there's crossover, and that's not uncommon, but it does come with an element of risk.
People are just closed-minded a lot of the time.
I would think that he stands something to lose also if she implicated him as a creeper and used his name
Right.
and publicized that.
I would suspect if he actually did it, that it's probably illegal. There are probably cyber laws against that.
Right.
And there's a good possibility that the real course of action would be to contact the police.
Right, and that's actually something that I did. I didn't use any names, but I did pose that question on our Discord. And a lot of people saying, yeah, check for, what was it, revenge laws?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Revenge porn laws.
You know, I read something. This is reminding me. Who took the picture? I think it's got to do with something like whoever takes the picture is the owner of that
Is
picture.
the owner of the rights, yeah.
Owner of the rights. So,
So
it just,
it was pictures that she took of herself, so
yeah,
they're her pictures.
right.
She can distribute them. He is not allowed to redistribute them because that's legal action.
Well, especially as a threat to coerce. You know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's got to be coercion laws there.
Yeah, I'm hoping. Like, I haven't heard anything else from her on this, but I'm hoping that everything went the usual way of, hey, it was an empty thread, and he backed off when he realized he wasn't going to get what he wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully so.
Shock, you've been in things for just a tiny bit of time now.
I'm old.
Have you run into that sort of situation with people before?
The closest I've come to that would be exes, ugly divorce sort of situations where one party tries to, first of all, and successfully has outed the other partner to their vanilla family, as like a punishment or coercion, etc. And then also where the ex tried to use the knowledge of the other partner's kink life as a tool in divorce court, and successfully, fortunately, the one person I'm really familiar with that was in that situation, when the ex is starting to bring up, oh, but my spouse did this and does that and is into this, and the judge went, that's none of my business.
Right, it's like that doesn't matter in what's
That's
being talked about
irrelevant.
right
It's
now.
irrelevant to their parenting, so we're not going to basically entertain these comments. So that was good news to hear.
Right.
Well, it is nice to know that the court system is trying to keep truly impartial to stuff that's not relevant.
I'd say it's quite possibly one of those advantages to living in California. Is that if you're someone's Bible thumping isn't specifically, you got an option to affect how your divorce proceedings go.
It's a no fault state.
No fault state?
No fault state.
Well, I don't think I was at fault, so I don't really see that.
What about you, Mr. Morsus or H.G. Ryder? Have either of you run into something similar?
I don't know anybody that's been outed personally.
No, I have not had a experience like that.
From a woman's point of view, the easiest thing to do is diffuse someone by telling them or making them think that the power that they have by outing you is nothing.
It's perceived.
Correct.
Self-perceived.
Correct. So if they say, hey, I'm going to out you, say, well, and so what? Mm-hmm. Or play it like, you know what, they already know. And I feel that diffusing their power takes that away from them, and then they drop it.
You know, whenever I see a plot point where it's, okay, you do what we want, or we're going to tell so-and-so, yeah, fuck it, I'll tell them myself.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, screw it, I'll just out myself, and then you no longer have that power over me, and this problem is solved.
That's a great way to go about it.
Because the only reason someone would do that is for power.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a weak person.
Agreed.
Totally.
Well, you know, I've said this before, and I've said it on the podcast, unfortunately I'm familiar with men, and you have people that can potentially be dangerous, but can put up a charming front to lure a woman in until they don't get what they want. Yes. Which is why guys will message women, and they'll say something, and the woman will say, I'm not interested, and all of a sudden she's a cunt and a whore, and just this vile hatred comes pouring out, and all this anger that was already there. It was just floating under the surface, under this, I'll try to be charming as long as it gets my dick wet. Yep. But what you really have is an angry individual who's focusing his rage at women in general because he's not getting what he thinks he deserves.
Funny that you should mention the anger that way, because recently on our Discord group, we asked the question about what is some of the worst messages that you've gotten from people that didn't get the response they wanted. Some of these people are fucking amazing.
Oh yeah. But to hear those, you'll actually have to listen into our next episode where we start a new segment.
Yeah.
What? There's going to be more episodes, gentlemen?
Oh, at least one.
Yes.
At least one.
Yeah, at least one.
And how far do you guys go?
Oh God, we go pretty deep. We go to the point of not naming them, but calling them out on their shit.
It would be great if one of them actually did listen and actually heard their...
Oh, that would be hilarious.
That would be great. Then they
Wow.
can call into that phone number. What's that phone number one more time?
805-303-11... Fuck.
That is F-U-C-K.
As he pulls up the number on his phone.
1173. I just had to be certain that I gave the right number, because I don't want Jane Q. Churchgoer to get a call at 3 a.m. on her phone asking about the kinky fuckers. You know, that may not be so good.
Or it may introduce her to a whole new thing in life she had no idea about.
Yeah, of course, then she would also be looking for Christian Grey. So, I don't know, man. I mean...
Let's hope. Well, see, then we teach her the better way.
Right?
See?
Christian Greys? Are those the kind of gray aliens that are promoting Christ?
Oh, Shock, you are a national treasure.
Oh, wow.
I'm just broken.
Take a horrible thing and make it a thing of beauty.
Oh.
Oh, we talking about JW paddles again?
Oh, nice. Yeah, what?
Shameless plug.
Shameless
Bravo.
plug.
I feel no shame.
All right. Well, Greedy, I think we are reaching the end of this one.
I think we're about there.
The original hour and 45-minute podcast.
Actually, only a little bit over an hour this go round.
What?
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
like
How is that
105.
Yeah. So, Shock, any final thoughts?
No.
Wait, does Shock not have something to say?
I don't think he has anything to say right this second.
No, actually, here's ShockDoc's tip of the day. Go to conventions. Go to events where people are vending toys. Put your hands on them. Look at them. Feel them. Touch them. Find the thing that speaks to you. Like an amazing J&W Pals. But find the toy that way is the best way to see to it that you're satisfied with your dollars.
Good. Right. And Mr-Morsus, any final thoughts? Well, hold on. Mr-Morsus or Poshka, any final thoughts?
Just thank you guys for having us.
Thank you
Happy
for
to
being
have
had.
My butt's a little warm.
Rightly so.
It's that warm, fuzzy feeling, right?
It sure is.
All right. HD or sunny-daize?
Well, again, we'd like to thank you guys for bringing us on. We are going to go out and play with some of these fine paddles as soon as we get off here.
Indeed, we are.
Awesome. Take a mic out there with you.
No, I have a thing to do myself.
Well, let's get to it, gentlemen.
Might we be sitting next to you?
Possibly.
Oh,
But sadly, I don't have a paddle to use.
I'm sure they'll loan you one. We can play the slap sound from scene to scene.
I like
You can actually use the donated paddle, and then you can actually give a real review on it.
Huh.
Wait, who is the ass that you'll be paddling?
Corinth.
Okay, here you go.
Hey,
I'm sorry, I was just kind of
who else has asked what I'll be paddling?
hell if I know. This is you. You're kind of a paddle slut.
What?
What the hell is it?
Don't paddle slut shame.
Greedy, do you see this? We have everybody that's outside right now just looking in. Come on in, people. Come on in.
I suddenly understand how fish feel.
Are they tapping on the glass?
Come on in.
We were trying to figure out if there's a party happening tonight or not.
There is a party happening.
Okay, good.
We are just about to end. We are actually going through our final stuff.
Yay.
Hey, live to the audience. Did you have a good time tonight? Which one of you said no?
Whoever it was can vacate.
You're not hitting, that's who said.
Awesome. Any final thoughts?
My final thoughts. This has been a good episode, and I am really intrigued and want to invest in a J&W paddle for myself.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to do that too.
Might that be your
Oh,
bottom?
you
That
will
would be my bottom.
You will get to try one of them this evening.
Yes!
So,
Hopefully the mic picked up that yes.
oh, it did.
Green!
Hey, listener land, thank you for tuning in to the Gotham Press podcast once again. We really appreciate it. Let us know what you thought of the new intro, because this will be the first episode that has the new intro. So, yeah, this is Greedy saying thank you again. And awesome tagline.
Don't break your toys. You want them to come back.
Bye.
And brick.